Smut.dk har fanget Mike Housholder, som var taler på Connect 2016, og hvis du ikke lige har været på Connect, jamen så er Mike, han er amerikaner, så lige om lidt, der vil jeg skifte til engelsk, og jeg vil gerne på forhånd undskylde for mine manglende talenter inden for engelsk, men det var altså ikke lige der Gud, han var mig mest noget, eller hvad man siger. No. But Mike, first of all, I would like to thank you so much for coming all across the ocean and come here to Denmark and speak to us. And I would just like to you today and tonight you have talked a lot about Lutheran churches and stuff like that. And I would like to hear the 95 Theses of Martin Luther King. Not just Martin Luther.
Martin Luther.
Yeah.
It had a lot to do with grace and indulgences, and that's an important part of our story for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It was just for fun.
That was
Okay.
good. That was
Yeah.
good.
What was the most surprising thing about Denmark?
All of the surprises were good, and we were excited to come. We've always wanted to visit Scandinavia, and this is our first opportunity to be here in person. So our expectations were high coming in just to be here, but we were surprised by how much better it was even than we expected. We enjoyed seeing the country, getting more familiar with the culture in our time here, but most of all we enjoyed being with the people who are here at Connect. It's inspiring to be with all of you, and a very hopeful experience for us. We have a lot of hope for the future of Denmark because of the people who are here.
Yeah. Before you came here to Denmark, you did not know that it's a very secularized country, did you?
Well, I knew that in theory, so I had read about it, I understood that, but it's one thing to read about something and it's another thing to be here to talk to the people who are in ministry and who are striving to serve faithfully according to God's call in their lives. So being here really brings it and draws it closer to our hearts and not just our minds. And so that's been a good experience too.
And what do you think about inviting an atheist to a conference like this?
I thought it was a brilliant idea. I told the folks who made that decision that I thought it was part of its brilliance was that it is a risk, and I think God wants us to take some risks. It wasn't a blind risk; it was wisely considered, and I think mostly because, as I said in the messages that I shared here, as Christians we have a good story to put our faith into, and there's all sorts of reason and evidence for our faith. It certainly falls short of proof, but that's okay because we want our relationship with God to be based on faith. There are a lot of other things that we take on faith in this life. We believe in things like love and beauty and inspiration, and I don't think it's that much more difficult to take the next step and believe in the God of those things too. Even if we can't get the physical proof for it, there's plenty of evidence for God, and so I think it was a wonderful debate, and I think it was a great opportunity for people to see that faith is a very reasonable thing, and that it's also something that we ought to share with people who don't believe in a way that is Christ-centered and in a way that has true love for the person that we're having a conversation with who may not believe. That's okay, but we want, because we love the people who don't believe, we want to share the good news with them.
You are the pastor of one of the biggest churches, if not the biggest church in in America. How can you still be that humble?
Well, it helps that I can look in a mirror and understand that it's got to be God's power that's being made perfect through my weakness, as the scriptures say. So humility used to be, and pride used to be a struggle, as I shared in my life, and I'm just so thankful that I went through the experience I did, as hard as it was to go through, because life is way better this side of pride, and living a life where I recognize that God deserves all the glory and God gets all the glory for anything good that happens has been a a great blessing to me. So I don't want to go back.
Yesterday you talked about Winnie the Pooh, and I have to admit that I'm a fan of Winnie the Pooh. But yeah, would you describe yourself as Winnie the Pooh or Eeyore? You talked about Eeyore yesterday, and you didn't like Eeyore because he's so sad, and yeah. Or are you Tigger?
Yeah, well, I admire Tigger. I wish I had his energy. Maybe when I was younger, I was Tigger. And now that I'm older, maybe I'm the old owl, the wise owl who sits up in the tree and tries to help the younger people a little bit. Maybe that was my role here.